Welcome to another episode of What the Media Want. I'm your host, Nikki Snell, founder of Press Loft, and in each episode I chat with leading journalists, bloggers and content creators to help PRs understand what they're looking for, from the stories they cover to how to pitch to them more effectively. And in this episode, I'm delighted to welcome Catherine Bennion-Pedley, Fabulous's long-standing lifestyle editor. So Catherine has over 20 years experience in print and digital journalism, and she heads up the interiors content for the magazine, along with the annual gift guides, the weekly lust list, the Wheel of Not a Fortune and lifestyle-focused edit pages. And she also contributes to the weekly Fabulous newsletter, secures exclusive multi-platform content with interiors experts, celebs and stylists, and directs interior shoots. So welcome, Catherine. It is great to have you on.
Thank you. Lovely to be here.
Great. So I thought we'd just start off with a summary of how you first started out in your career.
I started out in women's magazines and have kind of stuck there ever since. So my first staff job was on a brilliant young women's monthly called Company. The first interiors page I did. It kind of gave me the bug. And then since then, I've worked for most of the women's mags.
Nice. And so do you want to just summarise what you do now for anyone in the audience who hasn't heard of you and your amazing work?
So Fabulous is the #1 women's lifestyle brand in the UK. We have a magazine every Sunday in the Sun, but we also have a strong digital online following on the site and also across social channels now. And I look after interiors and travel content mainly and cover tech kind of lifestyle trends as well.
Amazing. And have you got any key metrics that you can share about Fabulous across all the channels that you work across?
Yeah, so in print, we have over 1 million readers. And then online, we have over 4 million unique monthly visitors. And then our social channels are 100,000 followers on most of the channels. And we're really building upon our YouTube following at the moment.
Yeah, I was watching some of those in preparation. So with your, you have the £300 to spend and you're going in and shopping for them. Is there a chance actually for PRs to get involved in the YouTube content?
Yeah, it's a huge area for us of kind of expanding the brand. The print magazine has a really loyal following. The readership tends to be a little older, so kind of age 30 to 50. We aim at in the magazine. And then obviously the digital following tends to be younger. So a lot of work is going in on trying kind of new concepts like Weekend Shopper, where we went into a shop with £300 budget and a problem area in someone's house to fix that. And also we've just launched the new Lust List YouTube series, where we talk about the kind of current trends and kind of hot items for followers to look out for as well. Those opportunities, those concepts are able to be sponsored, and we're always on the lookout for kind of brands that really work with our following and really tie in nicely.
Lovely. So if any of the PRs listening want to pitch to you, we'll share your contact info at the end, if that's okay. Great. So in terms of newsletters, I know that you are also involved in that. Do you have any information on how many of those go to and what sort of content you're looking for on those?
Yes, so we have a fashion lifestyle newsletter which goes out every Friday, which we're slowly building up. And that very much encompasses the magazine's kind of key themes of fashion, beauty, home, travel and food. And it's kind of designed very much with the mag in mind, but obviously it's kind of our offering for the week. It has Lust List in the digital format, so slightly different products there. And it also includes lots of kind of promotions and giveaways as well.
Great. So would you personally be looking for pitches for promotions and giveaways, or is it another team that works for that?
We tend to look after our own kind of sections, but often the page in mag, the edit, often has a really good giveaway, and that then gets us an editor's choice on the newsletter as well. So it kind of gets a double hit, and you kind of get to 2 different audiences under the same brand.
Incredible. And do you have any stats on the newsletters in terms of how many subscribers there are?
I think it's slowly building. I haven't seen the stats recently. It's fairly new. It's kind of the baby of the brand, but it's all part of the kind of cross-platform, multi-platform strategy, so that a lot of the content that we're producing can work across multiple platforms, or is designed to work across one of the platforms. It all ties in together with the kind of key experts from the magazine contributing across the digital video content.
Excellent. I mean, the industry has changed so much now, hasn't it, from the 20 years ago that I also started. And so all these different channels emerging and trying to be successful across them all is great. And with the numbers that the Sun's got. So, it's well worth pitching and getting involved in all of those channels.
Yeah, it really is. And I've always really loved to champion kind of smaller brands and independent businesses. I love getting an email from someone saying, look, this is the product I've designed. What do you think? And kind of really shouting about it. And if I can put it in mag and also in other kind of online, in the newsletter, talk about it potentially on the Lustless show, that kind of thing, then that's something that I really like to do, because it's kind of women supporting smaller businesses. And if it's got eco credentials, that's great to know about as well. So I always encourage smaller brands to get in touch, or PRs who have a friend who's starting out their business. Those kind of things I want to know about first. I want to get the exclusive. I want to, and then you keep in touch with the people and you see how their brand grows. And that's so amazing, because it started out with one kind of quite small, cute product, and then they've really grown their brand.
I love that. I think that's something that I love about Press Loft, and something I teach as much as I can, is often micro businesses and brand new founders and creators just don't have the confidence to believe that someone like you, the editor of such a huge reaching publication, would want to hear from them. But it's really nice to hear in those words that that's absolutely the case, and it'll give reassurance to people to just take a chance and pitch.
That's brilliant, because I'll go into little independent stores on my travels and I'll pick up key things and kind of make a note of small designers. But obviously I can't travel to each town, and I don't always get to see stuff. So that's when sometimes I do find really quite a few artists and businesses like that on Press Loft designing really cool prints and just something a bit different. And I think, things with personality and things that colour pop on the page always work really well for us.
It was nice to hear you mention Press Loft there, but Press Loft and others, how do you source, and your team, how do you source inspiration for products?
From everywhere, really. Obviously, digitally on kind of social channels, what's trending, what's kind of hot new drop, out and about conversations, other magazines, TV shows can be a huge factor. You always see the releases about, Get the White Lotus look and kind of things like that. Love Island. Key shows can be really influential. So everywhere and everything can inspire.
Amazing. And is there anything that's coming with the publication, anything you can tell us? So obviously you're working across multiple channels. Is that your primary focus, or is there anything else new coming?
Yeah, the huge focus at the moment is the video content strategy to support the print brand and the online stories. So what's brilliant about working is we're part of News UK. And so we have a lot of people with a lot of different skill sets. So we've got studios downstairs that we can film in, and we've got producers and the tech people to bring it all together, working on our same floor. We're trying a lot of new formats and content, and we're learning as we go, but they're growing quite quickly. And the viewers on YouTube itself, and obviously the kind of smaller clips on Instagram and TikTok, they're pulling in really good views. So yeah, it's taking a story and seeing if it can also work video-wise, or if it's just a standalone story in mag. But if it can work on both, then it's kind of feeding two different audiences.
With the shopper, the weekend shoppers, so it would be a case of a PR saying, my client's got a store, or I'm working at a store, come in, we'll give you budget, we'll give you space and quiet areas to film. Is that the kind of pitch that would be appreciated?
Yeah, it's always brilliant to know what kind of brands are interested in working with us on that kind of content, if they've got kind of competition budget, or if they're launching a new kind of range, kind of really early heads up on that. Sometimes, in these days, it's quite hard. You'll find out about something quite late, and then it gets tricky. So the more notice, especially if we're planning another series, another 3 episodes, then that one may just slot in because of the timing. Obviously, our commercial team deal with the kind of sponsorship on a bigger scale. Again, it's very much a cross-brand wherever possible.
This episode is supported by Press Loft, helping PR teams to provide their product images and content to journalists the moment they want to feature them. With over 1,000 brands uploading ready-to-use images and press releases, journalists can source imagery and content for their articles as they're writing them, without needing to email PR teams and wait for replies. In fact, 20% of coverage generated via Press Loft happens out of hours when PR teams aren't around to respond. It's a smarter, more journalist-focused way to drive media coverage. Visit pressloft.com to learn more and take a free 60-day trial. Is there anything you're working on next specifically that PRs might want to keep an eye on or pitch to you for?
Well, we're obviously about to start autumn winter 25, and the gift guide starts taking over in September. We kind of wrap most of our Christmas pages up by the end of October. We've definitely shot at all the gift guide by then. Then there'll be kind of smaller micro gift guides in magazine, but we're on pull forward. So come October time, November time, we're producing the magazines in less days. So, and then we've also obviously doing the weekly and daily content. So it's always bearing in mind that any kind of Christmas related stuff, get it to us by the end of September latest, really.
It's our biggest search on Press Loft already.
Wow.
And so we're encouraging everyone to get very active.
Yeah.
I know we've touched on sponsorship in terms of competitions and potential wider reach. Is there a particular contact? Should someone message you first and then you'll put them in touch with the right person? Or is there anything specific that you're looking for, your team are looking for at the moment?
Yeah, lifestyle-wise, I'll oversee all those competitions, and then the beauty team and the fashion team usually deal with their topic.
Okay, and requirements for a competition? Have you got any strict requirements, minimums?
It depends on the slot that it's getting, and it depends on the product as well. If it's quite a high-value product, then obviously we'll give less away, but there's never any point in just giving one. We'd need a kind of minimum of 3 like high-value products, ideally 5 to 10. And so followers believe that they're obviously in with a good chance, a higher chance
Perfect.
of winning.
I understand. And is there any opportunity to buy the data or access the data of the people that have entered, or is that more locked in this instance?
We don't tend to. If it's a huge kind of value competition, then that is an option. But on the kind of smaller in magazine competitions, no, we don't tend to offer that.
And then on to more PR specific tips. So what was the last PR pitch that you said yes to?
It was actually from a small designer pitching her wooden bookmarks, which were really lovely and will look great on the page, have great credentials. It's a small business and good imagery, because one of the hardest things is images still. So usually I'm after a really great lifestyle shot or a really high quality cutout. And sometimes PRs can be brilliant and say, look, I'm going to source that high res cutout for you, but it will be cut out from a lifestyle shot. So it's a funny angle, the lighting's wrong, it doesn't have the shadow, and it looks a bit grubby on page. It doesn't look as clean and crisp as the other products do. And so then it just means I can't really put it on the page because it's not going to sell the product, because against all the other products, it doesn't look as brilliant. And I was just putting together an indoor-outdoor rug page very recently, and there was a great rug and it was brilliantly priced, but it was just shot at a weird angle, which I feel it must have been from a lifestyle shot cut out. It just wasn't, with something like that, an overhead shot is a simple, easy thing. And it wasn't, and I just couldn't make it work in the design of the page, even though it was a great price, bright and brilliant. And that was from quite a big online brand. So spending budget on high res cutout images really, really is worth it, I think, because it just means you're so much more likely to end up on page.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting that you've highlighted orientation. It's something I've spoken fairly briefly about recently, and it is straight, isn't it? Generally, you prefer a straight, beautifully lit cutout, and when they're done well, they're just beautiful. But the lighting and the orientation are equally as important. Actually, a more detailed question: do you have any preference of an image with a drop shadow or no drop shadow?
It's nice to have a shadow. We can sometimes add shadow. When we were shooting ourselves, we would always have the shadow, but the clean, crisp boldness of the picture is key. If it's not shot from overhead, like shot from straight on. And I noticed, even one of the massive high street brands, they must have changed studios for one of their seasons, and the high-res cutout imagery just was not as poppy. And again, I just didn't include so much because in the mix, it just doesn't look so nice.
Brilliant. And ours is at Press Loft, we can see the difference between a client adding top quality, professionally shot photography, be it cutout or lifestyle. The difference in their results is night and day, really, I would say.
When I had more budget, I would just call in the product to shoot because we have an in-house photographer, but now I'm shooting only kind of full location house setups or the edit. But that's a full pager, so I don't have the budget just to do this kind of single shots, which is a shame because that was often a way of helping the smaller brands get featured.
And then in terms of style and actual sort of technical format, is there any pixel size requirements? Obviously 300 DPI, but a certain size, and again, I'm assuming JPEG is the best format to send?
Yeah, definitely JPEG and as high res as possible. Sometimes I'll download an image and it won't be as high res, and so then the art team have to let me know, and we can't pull it out on a page. Obviously, if it's not high quality enough, we can't use it, but if it's not great quality, it has to go smaller on the page. So again, the big files the better because then it might be the kind of standout product on the page.
Lovely. And generally, where do you source your images from? Do you ask the PRs? How do you prefer to get the images?
Well, obviously, a lot of PRs have kind of online libraries. Sometimes PRs share Dropboxes, which is quite useful because I prefer that over WeTransfer if the PR is pitching, because often with WeTransfer, you can't really see the products that you're downloading prior to the download. And sometimes the folders can be huge, and I don't know whether I don't always know if it's relevant. So if I can quickly click onto a kind of something like a Dropbox or have a small low-res version in the email to see if it's relevant and if it will work in one of my stories, that's so much better. I've even had a PR kind of attaching a press release as a WeTransfer file, and I'm not going to download that press release because I don't know if it's relevant. I want to see it in the email. I want it short, concise, price, image. Again, sometimes I'm still getting emails without prices on and I see a beautiful product and I'm like, oh, that's lovely. And if I've got time, I might click through to the website and then I'm like, oh, well, that's out of budget. So again, if I haven't got time, then I might not, I might accidentally skip over that product. So it's kind of short, small details and the image easily accessible. And then I'll go back to a PR for the high res if it's worth it, if I'm going to include it. But it is easy if they've included a link and it's a small folder and you can see what's in that folder.
Great. That's really helpful. So one thing I picked up on price is so important. Affordability, good value for money. If you have a product like that, which is relatively almost luxury for less, that would be something you'd be interested in.
Yeah, people often ask me what the price point is. And I say it just has to be reasonable, good value for the product that it is. So we're never going to include £10,000 beds or £5,000 baths or, the big, beautiful Arga ovens, because although some of our readers may want those things, we do try and keep it accessible and try and provide products that most of our readers will be considering to buy. So a candlestick for £200 is too expensive, but a chair for £200 is not. So it depends very much on the product and its competitors as well, because I will flag if something is a bit more expensive but it's got the quality and it's worth it, then I'll flag that up. But if I know that you can get a really good dupe on the high street for like a quarter of the price, then I'm probably going to include the high street version.
Yeah, it makes total sense with the audience. So is there a time of year that you feel like, please don't pitch to me, I'm completely overloaded, and would appreciate someone waiting or just doing it another time?
No, I think it's a case of just finding the right time to pitch, as in if the product is launching super soon, I want to know about it whatever time of year that is, especially, I guess, at the end of a season, because before all the autumn winter drops, it gets quite a long summer where you've kind of covered a lot of the alfresco entertaining and all those kind of, holiday linked themes. So August sometimes is a great month for getting kind of newer products in. Again, with January, February after the Christmas bonanza, that is several issues of Christmas. Again, that's a great time for kind of new products, chatting about new things when some of the high street drops aren't happening until February, March, and then new season things aren't kicking in. That I'd say those two key periods, it would be great to get more newer items and newer brands and newer launches kind of being pitched.
So I know you've touched on Christmas, and it'd be good just to have a reminder about exactly when you're going to be starting, and ideally any sort of indicators of what sort of things you're going to be looking for.
We will be starting in September, beginning of September, basically as soon as we get back from summer holidays. The Christmas folders will open and we will start putting ideas in. We'll always be looking for kind of brand new products, brand new stories to include. I'll be doing the interiors side of things, the decorations and the entertaining, and every kind of Christmas interiors trend there is, decorating home and outside and anything stylish, but also heading up the gift guide, which is quite mega. We haven't had our gift guide meeting yet, but that usually goes across about 10 pages in mag, and that has a women's, men's, kids and stocking fillers section usually. And again, it's looking for hot new products, maybe not the stuff that's on everyone's list. We want some kind of standouts that you're not going to see in every other gift guide. And samples, we shot it all last year. I think the plan is to do the same this year, and I guess we'll probably do some video content around that as well. So getting the samples in will be key. And for that main gift guide, we'll wrap that by mid-October. So that will all be in the bag by then. So that's the key bit, but then there'll be time to get kind of more short lead stuff in. Christmas interiors pages I'll be working on from October until end of November, maybe mid-November, because again, magazine pull forwards. So yes, it's
a busy old time then.
It gets bigger every year, I think.
Oh, that's perfect for us PRs in listening, because it's lots of opportunities to get coverage. So moving on to some PR pet peeves. Is there anything that you think slightly annoys you, without naming names, that PRs could learn from?
If I have to email back to ask about price, that's just time that I might not have. It's just kind of doing a disservice to the product, because it just means that maybe that email will get lost.
On that kind of vein, do you generally like to receive press releases? Do you find them something useful for your job?
Yeah, definitely. I think a really well-written, concise press release with the images and the price is really beyond, it's just invaluable. If there's an expert as well, a link to their book. I'm interested in a certain kind of expert. Links to if they've got an Instagram, if they've done video content before is also really good, especially. So there was a book recently, earlier this year. We've had some great actually collaborations. We worked with a great artist stroke upcycler based in Leicestershire, and her book landed on my desk. And I was like, I really want to flag up the book in mag. I really want to do a collaboration with her across Instagram and YouTube. And so she filmed like a mini series, 3 episodes for us to flag up her book. And that was really great. She was brilliant. And then also there was another book out with another interiors influencer stroke kind of expert. And again, the PR sent the links to her own videos, some pages from her book. And she was just perfect for us. And seeing that all there we set up the kind of video collaboration with her super quickly. And then I did an interview with her in Mag as well. So
that was a great pitch.
Those are just coming off pitches and being like, yeah, that's fabulous. She's fabulous. Everything works really brilliantly and was really quick because you can see exactly where those people are going to fit in Mag, video content on the social channels.
Great. And then on to samples. Do you get sent many?
Not as many as in pre-COVID times, but yes. And it is a great way of seeing the quality of a product or why it's different and how it works. It's much easier to talk about something and give something more space if you've got proper knowledge of it. That said, I guess a word of warning, well, not warning, but we really don't like waste. We don't like, obviously, we have big charity sales and we'll always donate things to charity if we don't keep them or if staff don't, if they're not sold in the charity sales here. But I guess I would say maybe steer clear of personalised samples or maybe check in with someone about what they would like if you were going to offer them a personalised sample, because there's myself and other colleagues that will get things in that we won't be using ourselves or are personalised in a way that we wouldn't choose. But then it's difficult for someone else to then make use of them because of their name or their initials or, it is not something that is as easy to sell in a charity sale or to donate potentially.
Okay, that's really useful. And any particularly memorable samples that you've had?
I was trying to think of some, because there have definitely been lots, but the only thing I can remember recently landing on the desk being quite odd was the promo for the new Danny Dyer film, which is all about drugs, I think. And of all, I haven't seen the film, but it was a strong PR campaign building on kind of, the character I think Danny was playing. It's the kind of stuff that you might give someone in jest in the kind of Secret Santa, maybe, but you'd have to pick your victim well.
Oh, that's brilliant. And then just to wrap up, for fun, outside of work, what do you like to do to switch off?
Getting outside in nature, definitely woods or snorkeling in the sea, switching off away from all devices, somewhere sunny.
I'm with you on that one. And so we'll share some of your contact information in the show notes underneath. But this has been so useful, Catherine. There's so many nuggets of information there that we can all learn from to pitch better. So really appreciate your time.
I hope so. Hope it wasn't too much waffle.
No, it was brilliant. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Nikki. Take care.
Thanks for listening to What the Media Want. If you found today's episode useful, we'd love it if you subscribed, shared with a colleague, or left us a quick review. This podcast is supported by Press Loft. If you're in PR and want to make it easier for journalists to feature your brand, take a free 60-day trial at pressloft.com.